We're back at Checkerspot brewing some beer.
You like 200-year-old beer?
You like 90-year-old beer? Let's brew both of them today.
I do like your socks a lot, I'm just going to be honest. What's up, guys? Coming at you live, Pillow Talk from Checkerspot Brewing in Baltimore, Maryland. We got our good friend Maureen here.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, get the first high five out of the way. There's going to be a lot of this. So we're here today for a super cool, I guess, call it an event, because it is an event.
Yeah, it's an
right?
event. It's a brewing event.
It's a brewing event. Speaking of which, you're very well known in the Maryland beer scene. You want to tell us a little bit about like how you got into this?
So I am a historian by training and trade, and my area of specialization is the Maryland brewing industry. So I am a historian of the Maryland brewing industry.
That's pretty legit. I am like a historian at drinking beer.
Oh, cool. Then we're right simpatico.
Perfect. You're incredibly smart. I'm done with drinking all.
Oh.
It works out great. So today we're doing something. Well, not we, but you. We're just here to experience and be here with you. You are brewing something that's pretty special. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're gonna, what's going down?
Yeah, so this brewing event, we are actually doubling up. We're brewing 2 different historical beers today. One is a 200-year-old recipe, and one is a recipe from legalization after Prohibition. So
Awesome.
April 7th of 1933 is when this recipe would have been consumed. So it's the first legal beer after legalization in Baltimore, and we are recreating that recipe.
That's amazing. Yeah, we're actually just out there in the brewing space, and wow, it smells incredible.
Doesn't it?
It does. Are you excited about all the mashing and all that good stuff?
So excited. The most fun I have is actually, as I've said before, and my husband will tell you, the most fun I have in life is actually brewing with Judy, making these historical recreations. So yeah, I'm always pumped.
That's awesome. And Judy, for the record, is Judy Neff, who is the owner and head brewer here at Checkerspot. So yeah, you guys go pretty far back, right?
Yeah, so she started, before she had the brewery, she was a home brewer, and she was also a founder of something called the Baltimore Beer Babes.
Right.
Yeah, and so it was introducing women to craft beer in all facets, not just try this, you might like it. It's let's introduce you to styles, let's introduce you to what different malts smell like, taste like, hops, really getting women into the craft brewing scene on a variety of levels.
Right.
Where some were getting there on their own, and a lot were, I don't want to say intimidated, but less adventuresome, because craft brewing was just starting to come back to be something that everybody could get behind, but everybody wasn't there. So guys were getting in it, and some women were getting in it. Why weren't more women getting into it? And if you introduce them and you talk to them about it and you make it a known quantity, they're all over it.
Yeah.
So it was, now we wouldn't think twice about that because women are in the industry everywhere.
Right.
As we used to be, historically, we were the ones that were brewing. It wasn't the men, it was the women that were doing it in home. That was our responsibility before industrialization. So it's nice to kind of have that getting back to our roots.
So that's awesome. So are you familiar with our owner, Cindy? She's actually
I love Cindy.
Awesome. Yeah. So she's are we allowed to say anything bad words on Pillow Talk? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I like to call Cindy, she's like my badass boss,
Oh, yeah.
She's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Not
pretty
really swearing, man.
Huh?
That's not really swearing.
Well, I mean, she fucking kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's better.
Is that better? Oh, okay. So speaking of beer, let's talk about beer a little bit. So, you have a good background. What's your favorite style of beer?
Ooh, see, now this is where I get in trouble.
Oh, no. There's no trouble on Pillow Talk. This is just let it fly. Whatever happens, happens. We will not edit it, even though we tell you we're going to. No chance it's happening.
Okay, so I am definitely a food mood person, and
Okay.
and I say that because sometimes it's very hard to follow where I go when it comes to beer. Sometimes I drink beer because of the mood I'm in, and that dictates the style. So depending on my mood, it's going to dictate the style. But also, I really enjoy pairing food with beer.
Awesome.
I love pairing food with beer. So sometimes it's dictated by the food that I'm making or the food that I can imagine having because of a beer, just the aroma. Like what we have
Sweet,
here.
good drink.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Fancy Pants, it's a New England IPA from Checkerspot. And we were commenting on, just how beautiful the aroma is. Just, from the tap in the glass, and kind of like fine wine, you're just going to take in that aroma. And it's going to dictate to me, oh, now what do we want to make tonight that could match this? So that's where I go.
That's a pretty cool way to go about it.
Yeah.
Because usually I would pick it after, like, that's a good way to flip it. Oh, I'm drinking this beer. What can I get to go with it? So, are you guys going to do a release for this beer, like something special here?
So, so 2 different releases for the 2 different beers.
Awesome.
The first one is the one that we call the Modern Fitzgerald. That's the one from 1933. The brewer, who was John Fitzgerald, he is who the beer is named after. But it's modern as opposed to exactly 1933 because we're doubling what the alcohol content would be. So instead of the 3.2 that was legal in 1933,
Right.
it's going to be 6.4.
Awesome.
So the idea is to have this ready for this April 7th,
Awesome.
2020.
Sweet.
So yeah, on that
Sweet.
anniversary.
I think we should be here.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I would love
That'd
to
be
do
awesome.
And it's going to be great because when people think about beers after Prohibition, they generally think of like a light, dry lager. I mean, that's what everybody goes to. And in Baltimore, the first thing they think is maybe a National Bohemian or a Gunther or an American. Well, that was a Pilsner. But, those lighter, drier, not punch you in the mouth with flavor. They don't think about darker beers or hoppier beers. And the exciting thing about the Fitzgerald is that it was a triple hopped dark ale. And its color, and you guys saw
Yeah, it's
in the
amazing. It's
back.
definitely awesome.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm so excited. And it's nice because it throws back to his roots because he was a brewer for Guinness before he came to America and tried to open his own brewery. So we're using the Irish yeast.
That's amazing. Raise your hand if you're a Guinness fan. Everybody in the back, Guinness fan? Guinness, okay. So we all like it. So we actually have a fantastic stout.
Yeah,
It's
I like
a sugar
this.
stout. It's a
More
dry
flavor.
Irish stout.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's much more flavorful.
Yeah.
And I will admit to not only driving down there myself on many occasions, but sending my husband down because we ran out of Hazy 3. I know that's a name I'm never allowed to say again.
You are my hero. What was that again? What beer was that again?
Hazy 3.
Oh, man. What a great beer that was. Man.
I'm so sorry.
Man.
But it was brilliant. And honestly, it was so good. I would send him down for a case. And if we could get a growler.
It was a very fun
It
beer.
was so good. And I remember bringing that to a party with a bunch of friends that were either in the brewing industry or home brewers themselves. And not a single one of them could believe that beer was 10% because it was so well made. It didn't taste like an alcohol bomb that you would expect from something that's
Right.
higher alcohol. You could get the depth of flavor. It was just delicious. It was heavenly.
You were at our brewery for a big can release. Was it, you were doing a book signing,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
For that, and that was, I think we released Hazy Not Lazy, maybe? But, I think it was. But speaking of the book, do you want to, that's pretty awesome.
Oh.
You want to talk a little bit about your book?
Sure. My book is Beer in Maryland, and it covers the history of the brewing industry in Maryland, literally from the colonial era to when I turned it into the publisher.
Awesome. And you can purchase the book, correct?
Yes, it is McFarland is the publisher.
Okay.
And I
I
should
saw it
have.
at Books A Million the other day, so
Oh.
I think so
Perfect.
I think they do carry.
Yeah, and I do book signings periodically, and I should have brought a copy. I think I have a copy in my bag in the back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll get a link for the book
Okay.
and where we can purchase it, and we'll put it down in the description below.
So, we want to talk about Pernicious Mary?
Okay.
Okay, so that's the other historical brew that we're making.
Let's
That's
do
200
it.
That's the 200-year-old recipe, and I have to say, as excited I am about the Modern Fitzgerald because the family's still around, and it's been great to talk to them about their grandfather.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this other recipe called Pernicious Mary because it is 200 years old. And it is a recipe from a female brewer, and it was 1822. So she is responsible for taking care of the home and the hearth, as women were. And, you know, we were just starting to hit industrialization as far as the brewing industry because of the wars and the rationing of beer. That's how we got men to sign up for the Revolutionary War. We promised them a daily ration of beer, a quart of spruce beer per day. Come on and play, we'll give you your beer.
I'd sign up for the war.
Yeah, there you
100%.
go.
I'm in.
But we still had women, you know, it was kind of going out of fashion, but we still had women that were making the beer in the home, and Mary was exceptional. So Mary Eaton, and she had a book on literally how to care for the household, recipes, how to do just about anything you need to do, and of course there's recipes for brewing. And she's quite an accomplished brewer, but she's also very specific, and she's a firm believer in sterilization. She gave us temperatures, she gave us everything. But she also was very particular, and she said that the thing about beer is that it needs to be wholesome, it needs to be delicious, it needs to not be contaminated, it shouldn't have any, you know, funky notes to it at all, and that the only way to get that was to make really good beer. Stay away from taverns and places like that because they don't take the care in making the beer, and that beer is, and I quote, pernicious. So hence this beer that we're recreating of Mary's, we're calling it Pernicious Mary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and this recipe is actually a very special occasion recipe. So this isn't the table beer, which is the standard beer that you drink.
Right.
This is a special occasion recipe because the malt bill is so high, and it's a lot of physical work.
Right. We
But-
saw your guns out there getting some work out, and we saw it.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I was working on the arms until 2 days ago, and then I'm like, I need to rest because I don't want to be sore because I'm going to be, you know,
Absolutely.
active without
Those
paddle.
are the pictures you saw back there, you know, of all of the vats and stuff
Yes.
like that. If you're looking at that.
Yeah, and Mary, here's the thing. This recipe was supposed to be made in early March, and it's going to literally not be drunk for 2 years. So the first year, it's going to stay. For her, it would have been in the cask, and then after a year, she would have bottled it and let it rest another year. And then you would take it out only for special occasions like a wedding or Christmas or New Year's, something like that. But here's the thing.
Or Tuesday.
That beer
Oh,
is
Jesus.
good in the bottles for 8 years.
Wow.
So this is an incredible, I'm so excited about this recipe, and it's going to be released in 2 years, in 2022, on the 200th anniversary of Mary's recipe.
We should come to that too. This is good. Can you take care of the calendar?
I'll put
Good.
it in the calendar
All
right.
so you have reminders.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Can we get a reminder
So
every
you-
Tuesday leading up?
Sure. I'll send you a reminder a year in advance.
I like it. I like it. This is super cool. Like, so, you know, when you're in the beer industry, it's always just, everything's so modern. It's always today's beer. What's hot? What's the hype beer? What's this and that? So to be here and see you guys doing this super old, like, just awesome, like, I don't even want to call it a comeback, just, you know, in honor of such a special beer and time. Like, I think it's incredible. And I think this is what the beer industry needs, is more history, you know, more excitement of where it all started and came from, as opposed to just what the next cool thing is.
Thank you for that. That, I think, is the most exciting part about what I get to do. I mean, I'm not a brewer, y'all are brewers, but I help find the history so that we can bring the history back to life. And that is just an honor for me to actually do this. Because working with everybody here and understanding the people that came before, I mean, it is, it's humbling. And
Right.
I'm so honored to be able to share that with people.
Well, that's awesome. And just because you're not a brewer, that doesn't change anything. Like, it's the history is why we're all here today, because without that history, none of this is, it's not existent.
Yeah.
So you get to shed light on the true OGs and the coolness of beer. That's pretty awesome.
And still do some fun manual labor.
And you still get to do fun manual labor. And you gotta be strong. Let's talk about Merlin, because I can't stop thinking about this. Like, I've been finding a way to try to, like, hurry up and drop this bomb real quick.
Okay.
You'll have
So-
to text me a picture of it so we can.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna get you a, yeah.
Nice big picture.
You gotta have
That shows
guns.
this mass.
Right, because Merlin is a tank, by the way. And when I say a tank of a rabbit. And I'm gonna let you talk about the love of your life. No offense to your husband and children. But let's talk about Merlin, because this is like the highlight. That's why I've been waiting to kind of sneak this in.
Merlin is my English lop. He is a rabbit. His ears from one end of the ear to the other end of the other ear is 21 inches. So he is a true English lop, and he is just a love bunny. And he growls, by the way. I didn't tell you.
That's awesome.
He totally growls. I consider it his, oh, thank you for that treat, or hey, by the way, I'm hungry. Did you open the fridge? I think I see a carrot right there. So just in case I didn't notice his silent paws coming up to me,
Yeah.
he growls to let me know that he's there and he's hungry. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it scares some people that aren't used to it, but most of my friends who have dogs think it's cute. Like Judy thinks he's adorable.
Yeah.
But people that aren't used to it get a little frightened by such a big rabbit.
There he is. Where? There. What, behind the rabbit? It is the rabbit.
Thank you so much, Maureen.
Thank you.
Again, we are going to put a link in the description for your book. And we will as well post updates on how the beer is going, release dates, things of that nature.
We'll have to go back and try it too.
And we're definitely going to come back
Make
and
sure
film
to.
live for it.
Just
2 years, set the reminder, remember.
I'll put the Google calendar.
I know.
Reminder every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Really?
And then at the 1 year mark.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Alert every Tuesday.
I like it. Never forget.
Again, Checkerspot, Baltimore. Come check this place out. Everybody here is fantastic. Super cool spot. Amazing beer, amazing people. And maybe run into Maureen and bring your book and she'll sign it for you.
Absolutely.
Sound good?
Cheers.
Cheers.